God is my source, God is my power, God gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. God gives me everything I need. Yeah, yeah, yeah. God is my source, God is my power, God gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. God gives me everything I need. God gives me everything I need. God gives me everything I need.
All right. How are we doing?
All right.
The bookstore must be open. All right, so welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living here in Granada Hills, where it's Parade Day. I love a parade, and the menorah that follows. So you have an opportunity to do a little Christmas shopping if you stick around for a little bit, have a little food, do a little shopping, watch a parade, experience Americana in all its grandeur, and then come around with your friends here at the center. So we have a little thing we like to do here called hugs and handshakes. And that noise you're hearing is my microphone in my armpit. Sorry about that. How's that? All right, so let's welcome each other and say good morning, shall we? So I hope folks figured out they can double park in the lot and behind us there. All right, so, this show's a lot better online if you guys move forward for our friends who are watching at home. Yeah, thank you for participating in our recovery. Yeah. Great. While you're up, might as well wave hi to everybody. So as we welcome those online, and knowing as we go into our opening ritual that we do have friends who are from our center who are participating actively and shaking off this mortal coil, and for anyone suffering in any way, we'll just bring them into the light. All right, so please help me welcome our Assistant Minister and Presider this morning, Reverend Nancy Woods. Yes.
And we're all going to take a deep conscious breath, using the breath to anchor us in this eternal now moment as we come together for our call to service, which we call lighting the flames of faith. And we perform this ceremony to promote the universal consciousness of life, which acknowledges that all peoples, all faiths, all sentient beings come from the one great universal presence, which we call Spirit. Now, fundamental to this truth is a unifying nature of all religious thought and experience, which we honor here this morning. So as Reverend Nancy lights the first candle, it's for the Tao, honoring the universal path of harmony and equilibrium, the natural way. We light the second candle for the shamanic traditions, honoring the beliefs and practices of all indigenous peoples, the way of primal spirituality. We light the third candle for Hinduism, honoring the path of knowledge, action, and devotion. We light the fourth candle for Judaism, honoring the ethical path of living by sacred law. The fifth candle we light for all forms of Buddhism, honoring the Four Noble Truths and the path of compassion. The sixth candle we light for all forms of Christianity, honoring the Christ consciousness as the path of love. We light the seventh candle for all forms of Islam, honoring the path of submission to the will of God as the highest calling. The eighth candle we light for the universalistic religion of Baha'i, honoring the path of unity and peace. We light the ninth candle for all forms of new thought, honoring the metaphysical path of mental healing through the practice of universal spiritual principles. And the 10th candle we light for all those who are as yet unaware of the power and presence of Spirit in their lives and for the space we hold for them here at our center. And as Reverend Nancy lights the healing candle, please put silently into the light the names of anyone you wish to have experience the healing flame of God's eternal love.
In this moment, in this place, I remember who I am, letting fear and worry fall away from me. I open my eyes and I see there is only love. There is only love. Love that heals, love that sets us free. There is only love.
And I do feel this love. I feel it is filling this room with each and every presence. And we recognize that this presence that we are honoring here today is that presence that brought life forth into expression. That presence that has been individualized as each person here. That presence, that divine intelligence that is given forth of itself in so many ways. It gives us the ability to open our hearts and our minds to receive and to experience it in an expanded expression, moment by moment. As I understand and know that this wonderful intelligence and presence that's been experienced by each one of us has given us that opportunity to feel and understand that life is to be enjoyed and appreciated, and we do so in this hour together. We do so in such a way that each one of us is blessed by each other's presence. We do so in such a way that the music, the message, the greeting, every aspect of this service lifts us up and shifts us to a greater expression of life itself. And as we recognize and appreciate this process and know that as we do this, that each and every thing that takes place gives us with an expanded understanding of our own unique qualities of being, we express our gratitude, for we know the law has already said yes to us. And the law is that which is activated by the word that we express. For there is that power in the universe that we are using that is greater than anything that we have had or gone before. So we choose to know in this moment that it is given us this hour as a gift. So we become more receptive, more open, and welcome this expanded understanding that is our truth. We let ourselves release this into the awareness as we say together, and so it is. Good morning. Today, I wanted to talk about my experience with Truett. And Truett is one of the writers that Ernest Holmes studied that was really a big component of his philosophy in writing that we are following today. And one of the things that was really interesting, I really got the message that treatment came from this understanding that he puts forth. And it's quite interesting how he expresses the idea of that intelligence is everywhere, and the intelligence, and see, we have this book intelligence that we study out here, and then we have this intelligence that guides us and directs us through life, and takes us into that experience that tells us that this is our next step. That intelligence that is already within each and every one of us. So we spend our time studying this philosophy so that we can express it even greater. And we have teachers from the East, and we have teachers from the West, and we have teachers from all over. And every philosophy up here has brought us a greater understanding about how to utilize this awareness that is within us. And it's very unique in a way because some of it seems to teach us about the materiality of the world, and some of it teaches about the inner awareness of the world. And sometimes we push away the awareness, the outside, and say we're too much into that, and we'll push away the inside, that we aren't grounded in reality. But what we understand from his thinking is that it's a unification. All of this is spirit in expression. Because if we think about how much time we spend just working alone, the number of hours, spirit has to be in that experience because we are there. If we look at how much time it takes for us to just rest and rejuvenate, it must be spirit there. So we know that our whole lives, whether it's in the material world or whether it's in the spiritual understanding, whether we meditated or whether we are enjoying nature, all aspects of being is spirit in expression. And we realize that all of this is a reflection, how we experience it is a reflection of this inner awareness, as how we're using it and how we are sharing it and how we are receiving it. So all of this glory of this inner teacher that is always with us, that is always given to us, and is always teaching us, it is just wonderful to understand and know that the answer that I am seeking, the good that I am seeking, comes from what's going on in here. And I think it's just fabulous how, for years, these people's been telling us this, and we get hung up on one thing or that thing, and we get hung up on the little stuff. When we got it all, right here. We got it all. So, we are the authors of our life. Let's write it the way we want it to be. And let's take this opportunity to share it with each other. Because it's an even greater blessing when we can give it away. And thank you for letting me share that.
Hi, good morning, everyone. How are you doing? All right. Please welcome today Erica on percussion. Hello. And I'm always happy to work with Angela. I wanted to tell you, too, that she will be selling CDs and books at the Christmas fair today. So please visit her if you're sticking around for the fair and the parade. So, that being said, please welcome Miss Angela Carol Brown. 2, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Sure to wear some flowers in your hair. If you're going to San Francisco, you're gonna meet some gentle people there. For those who come San Francisco, summertime will be a loving there. In the streets of San Francisco, gentle people with flowers in their hair. Across the nation, such a strange vibration, people in motion. There's a whole generation with a new explanation. People in motion, people in motion. For those who come to San Francisco, be sure to wear some flowers in your hair. If you come to San Francisco, summertime loving there. If you come to San Francisco, summertime will be a loving there. Summertime will be a loving there.
Thank you. Let's give him some
Since Andrea's not in today, I'm going to take us through the announcements. So first of all, inside your program, you will see a multicolored holiday schedule. That's for you to take and hang on to. So the two main things on there is that, well, there's a couple things. One, we have a Christmas candlelight service. It starts at 6 p.m. on Saturday night, which is Christmas Eve, 6 p.m. And then there will be no 9 a.m. service on Christmas Day, 10:30 service only. Of course, the 10 o'clock meditation before that. And that way we can get everybody in the room. Okay, so those are the two most important things, along with, oh, nice slide there, Mike. Happy holidays. So the Sangha holiday party, Wednesday, December 21st. It's a potluck, so make sure you show up for that if you're with the Sangha. The other thing is that we are collecting gifts, adult gifts, and they can be, how you say, re-gifts, right? So if you have gifts at home, adult gifts that are just now have transcended from a gift into clutter, you can now re-gift them. And on December 17th, a Saturday, we will be taking them to the North Valley Caring Service Center, where children in need will be taken around, where they can select two gifts, one for their mom and their dad, and then we help them gift wrap them so that they have a gift to give to their parents. So it's a wonderful service opportunity. There's a sign-up sheet out here if you want to take a shift, 2-hour shift. It's really easy. It's a fun way to get into the holiday spirit, and it really helps lift these community, the least advantaged over in the North Hills community. The other thing, Spiral of Light, December 21st. That's a Wednesday night. That's always a hit. What else, Mike? Is that it? Okay. Yes.
I just want to say that wrapping with the children is one of the most wonderful things I've done in the whole entire year, and I'm really looking forward to doing it again. You can put any time into it. It's just so special to see the children pick up stuff and wrap it up with them. It's really nice.
Yeah, it's a wonderful thing. We do that with the Methodist community, actually, and North Valley. So thanks for that little plug. And, of course, we also have the holiday boutique and some vittles afterwards, so stick around for that, and then the parade. So thank you.
Thank you. And now we're going to have the Declaration of Principles. Would you stand and say that with me? We believe in one universal spirit, manifesting through all, natural and incarnated in us. We believe that the universal spirit is personal to and reveals itself through everyone who recognizes its presence. We believe that our faith operates upon a law of mind which automatically manifests in our experience according to that faith. We believe in the unity of our life and the immortality of the individual soul, forever expanding. We believe in eternal goodness, eternal loving kindness, and the givingness of life to all.
Shine
Kind of a silly little song, but it makes you feel good singing it, doesn't it? Yeah. So let's give the musicians some more love, shall we? Nicely done. Thank you, Ken, as always. Where's my glasses? All right, so the reason why I decided to jump up here so I could shave some time off the front end of my talk. So just don't forget that the Christmas Eve service starts at what time? 6 o'clock. And how many services on Christmas Day? And it starts at 10:30. All right, good. All right, so tell your friends at the 9 a.m., right, to underscore that. And it's nice when we can get everybody in here. We will have a choir and the whole bit. So we're doing it this way because it's unusual that we have a Christmas Eve and Christmas Day together, because Christmas Day is on Sunday. So there we go. And so today's talk title, The Practicing Mind, and it is Parade Day, and there is a Christmas boutique. And the global vision for this month is the living spirit. The living spirit. And when I was preparing this message, I was thinking, the living spirit is one of those things that is a very simple concept to say, and yet it can be sometimes an elusive idea to embrace, particularly when we are if we should be going through a time in our life that is particularly challenging, if we are suffering a tragedy even of some kind, that we may not be able to really see and feel the living spirit because we're just in the soup, man. And life can be that way sometimes, yes? Yeah. So, and at the same time, in this teaching, one of the key concepts of the science of mind and spirit as a philosophy and as a way of life is that it teaches us and reminds us that there is a power for good in the universe available to all, and we can use it. So we hear this a lot, right? And now, in preparing this message, I was considering this idea, and when I read there is a power and I can use it, this sounds to me like a tool. Does it sound to you like a tool? Right? So it's something we can use. So when we dig a hole, we use a shovel, right? And with using any tool, we must first know that it is there before we can use it, yeah? And after all, you would not use a handsaw to hammer a nail, right? Well, actually, there's an old joke in contracting that what's a hammer to a contractor? The first thing he gets his hands on. But ordinarily speaking, you would not use a handsaw to hammer a nail, and you wouldn't use a hammer to cut a board. So, working with this a little bit, I am the oldest in my family, obviously the oldest son. And for those of you who have been born into this position of life as the oldest, you may know what it's like to be the helpers of our parents, or if you are an only child, right? The helpers of our parents. So one of my earliest memories is of helping my dad. We moved from a small base housing to a still small but larger than small, a medium-sized base housing. And so we were putting a bed together. And so what happened was we needed to make a notch in the board. And so we went to work on it, and my dad grabbed the tool that he had, which was a narrow, dull screwdriver, and started hammering away, making this notch in the board. And my dad, after several frustrating, hack-filled moments, said in his frustration, "We need a chisel for this job." And then a couple words after that. To which I asked, "What's a chisel?" Now, my dad was an in-flight mechanic in the Air Force and turned flight engineer. So he had a lot of tools. He had a lot of tools in his tool bag. But you don't need chisels or hand saws to fix an airplane. You need wrenches and ratchets and pliers and such things. And he had lots of those, but no chisels. And in this way, taking this story and this metaphor and applying it to our life, think about how we can often go through life, hacking our way through it, feeling frustrated, aggravated, maybe feeling thwarted at every turn, like trying to hack hack through our little groove using a screwdriver. And then we learn that there is a tool called a chisel. And then we make quick work of things. And not only that, but once we get proficient with this tool, we learn that there are other tools that we can use, and used in combination with the tool that we currently have, this enables us to not only work faster, but more accurately and with skill. So in short, we demonstrate craftsmanship or mastery. We demonstrate mastery. Now, I'm speaking to the job site. It could be in the kitchen, or it could be at the computer, where we pick up tools along the way that make our efforts more effective and our life becomes easier. And this is a good thing, yes? So when we are presented then with a new tool, the first step then is to recognize that we have a new tool, right? To recognize that we've been presented with a new tool and then adopt it and then use it. So there's a power for good in the universe available to everyone, and you can use it, and I can use it, but I have to use it. So, how best to do that? How best to use this tool? Well, just like a tool in our carpenter box, or in the kitchen, we have to get to know the tool. We need to get to know its qualities, its characteristics, and to know, number one, that it's there. Right? So how many times have we gone to do something and then going, oh, I should have used, this thing or that thing. I could have used that, what's that little basket thing that you use to whip up like eggs and stuff? A whisk. I could have used a whisk instead of this fork. I pay good money for that whisk, and I forgot to use it. All right. So we know. We want to know that it's there. I use a lot of whisks. Can you tell? So to know it's there. All right. So put it to work then in a conscious and confident way. All right, so when I'm proficient at using a tool, I no longer even think about using it. So I think back on the first time that I used a skill saw as a brand new greener and grass apprentice. That thing terrified the heck out of me, man. It's a lot of power. It's kind of heavy, and it torques a little bit when you start it up. And it's got this blade that's going fast. And then most guys who get hurt using these things, now women who get hurt using these things, we forget that we're playing with a power saw. It's powerful. Right? So we're not using it consciously. But as we become proficient with it, we can use it consciously and confidently. I forgot to give you that to look at. So, in using this, again, playing with this metaphor and this idea that there's a power available and that we can use it, we become then more familiar with it. That we come to invite and create opportunities where we can become more familiar with its qualities and characteristics. And in this, then, is the big invitation. And this is really what Ernest Holmes sets out to do in this teaching of the science of mind and spirit. That he encourages the student of this teaching to expand their understanding of what they think God is. And to think of it and the living spirit as bound by nothing except the law of its own being, which is infinite. Right? So, The power of the living Spirit, bound only by the law of its own being, and the law of its own being also infinite. Now that'll get your head spinning around a little bit. So we have these hints, we have these opportunities to deepen in our understanding of that, and this is in fact why we light the flames of faith. Because there's something to be learned from Hinduism. There's something to be learned from Christianity and its root teaching Judaism and Islam and Baha'i. Each one of them having, looking at this same truth with a little different perspective, with a little different angle. And so in this way, then, we take our good where we find it. Right? And what the science of mind then does is recognizes that not only is there this power, right, but let's use it. It's like knowing that there's electricity, right, and not creating light bulbs, right, or power tools. So it doesn't become useful or it doesn't really mean anything until we use it. I shouldn't say that. It can mean a lot more to us when we use it. So in this way, when thinking about this in terms of the living Spirit then, that this power must be sensed rather than defined. That we need to move beyond the intellect and into instead a field of knowing, which is different. And in time, if we stick with it in time, stick with it and knowing that this is a continually evolving, a very dynamic relationship, this idea of inviting the power and presence of Spirit into our lives, that we come to see that it is, in fact, an indwelling presence, and this indwelling presence of this living Spirit then responds to our thought when used and focused and unfocused. Right? So when we can use it in focused and unfocused ways. So now this can be a big job sometimes when our problems seem huge. Of course, there is no big or small in the mind of God, but within our own experience of life, sometimes it seems like life gets pretty big. It can feel overwhelming, that our suffering seems like there will never be an end to it. When we are faced with possibilities that we cannot contend with, or that we're just not up to the task. So that this then becomes precisely the time to surrender and to know that the indwelling living presence is longing to relieve our suffering through the use of mind for the expression of its power by means of our life. So the interesting thing about this is the bigger the problem, the larger the opportunity to prove this infinite power and presence and intelligence of Spirit is operating through us. Now, that's with the problem. What if it's what if it's a dream? Right? A dream isn't a problem. A dream is a dream. Right? It's something that excites us. It quickens the spirit. We feel a sense of excitement about life. Can we engage it in this area? Yeah, you bet. You bet. In conscious ways. And again, not to demonstrate, the new relationship for the sake of the relationship, or a house, or a car, or a new job, whatever that is. Right? But for the sake of demonstrating the power and presence as your life and as my life. Right? So we're simply demonstrating a principle. So on the outside, it looks like we're just looking for stuff and things. And in the beginning, I would say that's our laboratory. That's where we play around with this thing called demonstration. But in time, we have that one really walk-off Homer kind of demonstration, that buzzer beater, whatever metaphor you want to use, where you just are so awestruck by the power and majesty of Spirit to demonstrate something in our life that is so far beyond what we would have imagined for ourselves. That's a wonderful thing. That's a wonderful thing. And of course, we also know that we're just swinging on, because, right, so it's impermanent, right? So we're just going to swing on to that until the next thing shows up. And of course, we can't do that until we let go of the bar we're hanging on to, right, to grab the other bar on this trapeze thing, right, to mix everything up here. So we want to invite every opportunity of life that presents itself, every challenge, every sweet spot of life, and look for ways to cultivate and experience more presence, more power, more intelligence. See the beauty, the truth, and the light within it. So Holmes talks about how believing is seeing. So God is intelligent mind and spirit, and there is a direct response from this universal intelligence in which we move and breathe and have our being to our intelligence. Right? That if we ask for bread, we can confidently know we shall not receive a stone. But we are told, right? So the master teacher taught in the West that we are told to ask, believing and knowing that it is so. So that further, that we now come to a definite teaching regarding prayer. This is Holmes again. That we shall receive that for which we ask. That it shall be opened to us when we knock, and we shall find that for which we are searching. That the teaching implies the definiteness of spiritual and mental work. I think that's over here, yeah. So, we have some tools available to us. So, the first tool then is knowing that there is infinite power, infinite presence available to you and to me. That there's a power for good in the universe available to everyone, and that we can use it. Okay, and to know that this power is expressing as you and me, in fact, expressing as all of creation right now, simultaneously. Bound by nothing. Dimension, time, nothing. It's happening right now, and that we are one with it, that we are expressing as it. That our third tool then is knowing that it's done. So our tool of faith, right? Knowing that it is done. The fourth tool is living in gratitude, being grateful for all we have, even when we're slogging through it, right? Where's the pony? It's in there somewhere, right? So, so living in gratitude, being grateful for the blessings that we currently have, and then finally, drop the rock, man. Release it. It's done. Remember? So these are what we would call, you put all these together, and what do you have? You have a spiritual mind treatment. So each one of these things then, isn't that pretty? I forgot I had a slide on this. So each one of these tools then, right? So remember I was saying we learn to use these tools. We can work them in combination with others. This is what a spiritual mind treatment is. Each one of these aspects of treatment is a standalone spiritual practice, yeah? Yeah. So, and then of course, there's tool number 6. Tool number 6 is get thee to a practitioner, right? So if you really feel stymied, go to someone who has studied and practiced and has demonstrated the effectiveness of their own consciousness in working with others. That's what a practitioner is. And if you do the work and you stick with it, you can transform anything. You can transform an experience of the holidays that go from feeling kind of grinchy, right? And this is our holiday parade, right? This is White Oak. This is White Oak Avenue. The liquor store's over there if that's one of your milestones. Yeah. So it can go from being grinchy to an experience of grandeur and celebration, right? Expressed here in this home, or maybe expressed as Chloe riding in the truck. Maddie's in there somewhere. And so this was our float last year. We're not doing that this year. It's a lot of work, I know. I'm feeling kind of grinchy. But I'm going to get that straightened out on the 17th when I go hang out with the kids over at North Valley Caring Services. So make sure you join me. All right, so let's all take a deep cleansing breath with that. Excuse me. So what simple next step can you do to move into the greatest expression of your life? What small next step can you work into your spirit and bring your spiritual toolbox to that? So any large problem can be tackled if we just chip away in little bits. Right, so we see evidence of this everywhere in nature. That even the mighty Mount Everest will one day be beach sand, 1 grain at a time. So, this day, how can we cultivate our connection with the infinite power and presence of the one Spirit? How can we cultivate an awareness of perceiving the light and love that God is in the world? How can I be that light? How can I allow myself to step into this infinite field of good, allowing myself to not only be shifted and lifted myself, but in that inward transformation and evolution and expansion of my consciousness, how can I lift others in the process so that I might be a greater demonstration of the healing power of presence? This is what it means to be a light unto the world. So that when we understand, when we show up, right, this idea of let's get this party started has just been unleashed by our own movement and consciousness within our own mind. That we move into and through this holiday season with a sense of connectedness and love for all.
Pause in life's pleasures and count its many tears while we all sorrow with the poor. There's a song that will linger forever in our ears. Oh, hard times come again no more. 'Tis the song, the sigh of the weary. Hard times come again no more. Many days you have lingered round my cabin door. Oh, hard times come again no more. While we seek mirth and beauty and music light and gay, there are frail forms fainting at the door. Though their voices are silent, their pleading looks will say, oh, hard times come again no more. 'Tis the song, the sigh cabin door. Oh, hard times come again no more. 'Tis a sigh that has wafted across the troubled way. 'Tis a wail that is heard upon the shore. 'Tis a dirge that is murmured around the lowly grave. Oh, hard times come again no more. 'Tis the song, the sign of the weary. Hard times come again no more. Many days you have lingered around my cabin door. Oh, hard times come again no more. Oh, hard times come again no more. No more hard times. No more hard times. No more hard times. No more hard times.
That was really pretty, wasn't it? Yeah, let's give them some more love. Thank you. Beautiful harmonies. That sounds like an Appalachian song or something, huh?
Yeah,
Over
I
the
think Bob
hills.
Dylan wrote it. Oh, Stephen Foster.
Oh, really? Stephen Foster. Nice song. All right, so as we prepare our gifts for the offering, we invite, we have a new offering song to learn. So Ken will take us through it first.
Spirit gives through me, Spirit receives through me, Spirit lives and breathes through me. Spirit lives and breathes through me. Spirit gives through me, Spirit receives through me. Spirit lives and breathes through me. Spirit lives and breathes through me.
So going within just for a moment more, recognizing and knowing that the gifts presented here this morning are a demonstration of consciousness that knows and knows that it knows that God is our source, our substance, our supply. And so from the generous heart of the individual from which these gifts have been offered here this morning, we, representing the heart of this community, accept these gifts with deep appreciation, love, and respect, as we recognize and know that that all are blessed in this transaction. That we know that the power and presence of the one Spirit is operating in, through, and as the vision and life mission of each one here and of this center. That we know this truth for our friends in this community of Granada Hills, our city of Los Angeles, our state of California, our United States of America, all of its churches, temples, mosques, schools, universities, the people who attend them, the people who support them, for our planet as well, that we know all of it is an expression of the divine, expression of the universal mind of Spirit, expressing fully and completely as this manifest life in all ways, great and small. And to the extent that we know this to be so, we see it demonstrating. This lifts our hearts and empowers us into ways of spiritual living that lift ourselves and others. We are grateful. And together we acknowledge this by saying, and so it is. So please help me thank our ushers this morning, Sandy Kelly and Marlena. So we have all the announcements done. So Christmas Eve service starts at 6. And Christmas Day, we have how many services? 1. And it starts at 10:30. You guys learn fast. I forgot we got to bring the kids in. Y'all coming? Hello? Could you hear all that? I forgot I had my microphone on.
Yeah.
Glad I wasn't yelling at him.
We're just having too much fun.
It's a madhouse back there today. Yeah, it's good. Hey, Adam's back. Hello, Adam. How you been, man? You want to sit up here for a little bit? All right. Miss Lissa, what's going on today?
Well, we did something that was beautiful and special. We did something that was beautiful, special, and unique. Ben, what did we make?
We made
Come on up, bro.
We made snowflakes because they were different but also beautiful.
All right, just like you. All right, thank you. Thank you, parents, for bringing your kids in. Did you want to add something, Adam, or no? You good? All right. All right, so let's give the kids a hand for making it into church today and their parents for bringing them here. Invite our practitioners and ministers to circle the room. And stick around. There's a little something on the other side, and we'll get the parade underway along with our bazaar.
So as the practitioners circle the room and circle it in love, let us know together that we have been blessed. We are all blessed in this experience of being here together. As we recognize that Spirit has come through in expression, and just as the children says that each and every snowflake is beautiful, we know that each and every person in here is beautiful. And in this recognition, let us take that thought out into our experience so that we see everybody that we experience today as just beauty in expression. So with love and acceptance, we let the law give us this truth as a living experience as we say together, and so it is.
Please stand for the peace song. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Yeah, it was really good. You did a wonderful job. Thank you. That was a lot of fun. Thank you very much. These go in the guitar case. Yeah. That music goes in the guitar case with the guitar. Here you go. Just leave it. I leave it here. Here you go. I just got to talk to Tex. I don't know.